Om Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tamha Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vanshirishibhyo Mahadhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahitaha Prajnanagghanaha Pratyagartho Brahmaivahamasmi Brahmaivahamasmi Om Vedantartha Vibhasakaya Gurave Shantaya Sannyasine Nanavadi Nagendra Sanghapavaye Yogindra Vandyaya Cha Mohadvanta Divakaraya Bhagavat Padabhidham Bibhrate Tasmai Bhashyakೃತೆ Namostu Satatam Purnaya Bodhatmane Purnaya Bodhatmane. Let us recite the second verse. Sangasatsu vidhiyata Sangasatsu vidhiyata Bhagavato Bhaktir Dridhadhiyatam Shantyadif Parichiyatam Dridhataram Karmashu Santyajyatam Sadvidvan Upasrupyatam Pratidinam Tatpaduka Sevyatam Brahmaikaksharamardhyatam Shrutishiro Vakyam Samakarnyatam Shrutishiro Vakyam Samakarnyatam. Though a person appreciates, understands that Atma or Moksha is the true Purushartha, the ultimate Purushartha. Because Purushartha means somewhere where Dukkha Nivritti and Sukha Prapti can be seen. So anything where these two factors are there, Dukkha Nivritti and Sukha Prapti, meaning annihilation of Dukkha, elimination of misery, and attainment of joy. Whether you see it in wealth, popularity, progeny, or in heaven, wherever you are able to associate and see these two qualities, attributes, that object will immediately become the object of your desire for which one will strive. So it is that is why it is a Purushartha. Then we say that yes, we strive for Dukkha Nivritti or Sukha Prapti, or we strive for both. Hmm. When you take medicines, etc., over there, you don't get Sukha Prapti, but at least Dukkha Nivritti is there. So that is why it is sought. So that will go under either security, which means artha, physical security. So artha purushartha, it can be covered under. So here we have purushartha, meaning dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. But on an analysis, we also find that we still have something more to see. And that is, we are just not truly wanting dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti, but we want atyantika dukkha nivritti and parama sukha prapti. Atyantika nivritti means absolute annihilation, absolute, complete, total removal, elimination of dukkha, of misery. And one wants to attain happiness which is not limited by time, space, or any other condition. So we want it atyantika nivritti. Though one may get progeny, one may even attain wealth or go to the heaven. It is sukha prapti, but it is not atyantika or parama sukha prapti. Because this swarga, attainment of heaven, which is the phala, which is the phalam or the result of righteousness, over there, two things one must note. That all the other theologies which are talking about attainment of heaven, over there, it seems to be the heaven as a permanent place. But making it permanent, please remember, there are two defects over there. By calling it permanent, one does not eliminate the defect of dukkham from there. Another thing is that insecurity still will be there. Say, suppose, if you fall out of the good books of God, and it has been said that is how Adam and Eve were thrown out, made to leave the paradise, because now God does not want them to live. So go, so goes away. Over there, there will be insecurity that I should always be in the good books of God. And to keep somebody in good humor all the time, and very powerful person to keep that whatever entity is in good humor all the time is very difficult. Just very difficult. And therefore, the people around such a person will always be in insecurity. And this insecurity means to come. So, where is the possibility of total annihilation of dukkham there in that such heaven too? Whereas, even when the Shruti speaks about the heaven over here, it is not a permanent place. How long will you be able to stay in a heaven where there is no dukkham? There is sukham. Dukkha is not there. Dukkhena na sambhinnam. It is not pierced by dukkham, that existence. But that it is not a permanent place is said by the Shruti herself. Okay, by the Vedas. Because one will get to stay in that place as long as the karma, the punya karma, allows you. If your punya karma gives you the segment of 100 years to live in that heaven, after 100 years, you will be born again in this mortal world according to your karma. When will you be born? As what will you be born? That depends on your karma. But now, your karma does not have the capacity to give you a lodging in heaven. It gave you for 100 years, but then after down below. So 100 means you can go on for a longer period, maybe even an unimaginable period. But still it will be not permanent. That is there. So impermanency, being temporal, is the defect over there. Then one comes to this conclusion that I want absolute annihilation of dukkham. I don't want to become dukkhi ever again, even slightest. So it is intolerable. Just imagine that you are traveling in economy class on the flight, and the person next to you keeps his hand on the arm of the chair, huh, of the seat, and then you have to sit like that, and then you are just waiting when this person will move an inch and immediately take that place. And that is a great pleasure. And then you also fall to sleep, or the stewardess brings some food or something, so you stretch your hand, and that fellow was waiting for the opportunity. Now, even that discomfort for an 1 hour's flight also becomes your struggle. So even that much, not that he's sitting, putting all his weight on your lap and sitting like that, or he's piercing you with some sharp object or nothing. Only thing is that you cannot keep your arm like that. That's it. On the armrests. You can't do that. Itself becomes your discomfort. My God. And so why such people are, uncivilized, without any civic sense? How even if you want to keep it now, but to allow me also to keep this fellow. I don't know if he has taken bath also or not. So even that much discomfort is not tolerated. Then comes another thing. Even if you are happy, ask that happy person, till when do you want to be happy? With that person will get annoyed. Somebody is married and they're just back from the honeymoon and they're very happy. Ask him, hey, happy? Oh, very happy. Then ask him, when do you want to be happy? He will get annoyed. He'll say, you're jealous of me. So nobody wants their happiness to be limited in time. Oh, I want to be happy till next Monday. I'll ask, oh, for 1 year, and then after, to come. Nobody wants it. So nobody wants happiness which is limited. At the absolute, total. And so we also understand, though we are seeking happiness and removal of misery, we are seeking it in absolute terms. And unless and until this is reached, because this is the quest, this is the very purpose of your living, and unless and until this is attained, the person will always remain restless. You know, this fact has been put in different words by saints, etc. So when Goswami Tulsidas Ji comes, he says, this is a sentence which is there in Bharata's mouth. And Bharata says, Binu dekhe Raghuveer pada jiya ki jara nina jaye. Unless and until one sees the feet, lotus feet of Shri Rama, the fire scorching in the heart will not be quelled. Okay? Jiya ki jarani na jaye. It does not go. The fire will not be doused. And this is how the Upanishad. So this is the Upanishadic principle. Upanishad says the one who knows Brahman goes beyond all misery. Okay? Brahmavid apnoti param. The one who knows Brahman attains the highest. So now you have this understanding and appreciation that yes, by achieving dharma, artha, kama, any of these purusharthas, the ultimate total what in total terms, sukham or removal of misery cannot be there. So now moksha is the purushartha. One appreciates moksha is the purushartha. Then one also appreciates in knowing Atma is Brahman, moksha can happen. In spite of this, why is the person then not able to give himself completely to this pursuit? Because this is the real ultimate pursuit. There are other pursuits in your life. You could be chasing money, fame, things like that. But what is the ultimate purpose? He said, this is it. Though one appreciates, why cannot one bring himself to this completely? And the reason over here is because the papa karmas of the earlier life or lives will come as pratibandha, as obstacles. This is what you will say. In spite of knowing, this is what happened. In spite of knowing.
Swamiji, please mute Hemaji.
On. Please switch your mic. This is what happens. What is the problem? The papa karmas of the earlier life or lives, they will now stand in between, not allowing you to put in efforts in this direction. Another thing is there, and that is, though you may even put honest efforts, yet it seems that it is not bringing its result. Okay? It is not bringing its. So now there are these pratibandhas. And so now we are going to, this is going to be the objection. Sir, the Daiva means, now over here, it means what? The unseen, adrashta. Okay. What will be the meaning of word Daiva in this case? Not just, don't think that Devena Kritam, etc. is Daiva. Daivam over here means the unseen. And whatever is the karma that is not, karma is not seen, Papa Punya is not seen. What we see is actions and then the results. But between the actions and results, there is the adrishta, Papa and Punya, which is sitting. That is not, that is going to be the pratibandha. Okay. So what is the doubt over here? The doubt is Nanu Daivanta Vignabahulye Tadvishayaka Vichare Pravrittireva Nodayam Asadayet. Astuva Pravrittihi Tathapi Tat Phalam Nasiddhyet. Because of this Daivagata Vigna obstacles now, Ribandhas, what happens? Pravritti eva now, what is it? Udayam Asadayet. The one will not be able to take put any efforts in this direction in spite of knowing. Yeah, it is nice, we understand it is true, but you know what? I want to get other things only. Why? Don't you know this is the real thing? Why? Because that Papa Karma is there. It is not allowing your viveka to turn into this direction. Pravritti eva na udayam asadaye. Astuva pravritti, let there be pravritti. So let there be efforts in this direction. Tathapi phalam na siddhyata. It cannot even really bear its results. Knowledge taking place, and then by that knowledge, the ignorance getting eliminated. This does not happen. Okay, now. Daiva valabhave sarvasya nishphalatvad. Thus, what is his conclusion now? If one does not have the Daiva bala, if you do not have the Daiva bala, Bhagavan Shankaracharya elsewhere in the Viveka Chudamani, he says that even inclination to walk this path comes through the punya, sukruta of not one life, of several lives. So therefore, this is not a question of convincing someone. It is not a question of convincing someone that you are going to take to this path because Swamiji was so forceful and he convinced or anything. No, sir. One will take to it only if he has the necessary punya. If he does not have, in spite of appreciating, the person will drift away. Will be lost. Therefore, what is required? Daiva balam. What is required? Daiva balam. Now the question is, sir, I don't have it. Therefore, now I am going to give up the hope of ever walking the spiritual path. What to do? Just live like that. Well, whatever is there. If it is not, then not. So no daiva balam for me. And hence I'm going to just put it in the shelf. Okay? Put it back on the shelf. Oh, it is there, but nice. Like how the books that you purchase, thinking that you will read them one day, read them, and that one day never comes. Because there is no such day in the whole week, one day. There is Monday, Sunday, Saturday, but there is no one day. So that day does not come, and you will never, it sits on the shelf forever. Like that. It is shelf now. Therefore, now what is the solution? The solution over here is, therefore, Bhagavato Bhaktir Dridhadhiyatam. That is the reason why have strong devotion. Because Bhagavan, Lord, obstacles. Why will God remove the obstacles? You are his son-in-law, that's why. Because even this form of bhakti is also a form of karma. And this karma is, the punya born out of this karma is much stronger than all the papas that can come. And that is why it removes. This is the reason why even sage Patanjali brought back Ishvara into the system of yoga. Before sage Patanjali, yoga was called as Sankhya Pravachan. What is it called? Sankhya Pravachan. Enhanced Sankhya. In the Sankhya system of philosophy, they say that what is the cause of dukkham? Just as in Vedanta, we also say ignorance. They also say it is ignorance. But how is this ignorance? That ignorance means that understanding body-mind complex as the self. So that what is not the self is mistaken for being the self. Okay? Body-mind complex means ego, etc., everything, okay, is taken to be the self. So now they say that here is your problem. What is the problem? That Purusha Prakriti is there is no viveka of Purusha and Prakriti. This is Prakriti, the inert principle, and Purusha, the conscious principle. What is there? There is a confusion about it. The body, mind, etc. is all what? The inert principle, Prakriti, and the Atma, the self, is the conscious principle, Purusha. So this Purusha and Prakriti is confused to be one, and therefore there is dukkha. So what is the upaya? What is the remedy? Have viveka, the clarity of understanding that what is Purusha, what is Prakriti, what will it do? It will segregate. And the moment you see that Atma is free from Prakriti, thus dukkham is gone. Now no longer consideration the body, mind, senses, ego, etc. as the self. All that you require is clarity of understanding. Where is God over here? According to the Sankhya system, God is redundant, not required. Why are you going to bring anything like God in between now when the things are so clear? All that is required is Purusha Prakriti Viveka. Where is the requirement of God? So it is redundant. Whether there is God, there is no God. This discussion will happen only if it has got some place in the scheme. There is no place at all for God. Then why discuss something which is irrelevant? Why bring in something that is irrelevant? Then you are discussing, some problem in an office. Yeah, this is a project, how it has to be done. Suddenly, then you bring in a topic. My dog, now he requires to be given some injections. The monthly dose of that thing. What is the point of this discussion here in this? Why? No, that is all okay. You know how to do this project. But my major problem is that, the injections that I have to, the medicines that I have to administer. And what is the, you are bringing in a topic which is irrelevant. Exactly. Whether there is God, there is no God, we are not interested, even if there is any God. And therefore, that what is irrelevant, it has got no use in your whole scheme. Why keep it? And this is an absolutely astika system of philosophy, where there is no God. So in the Indian scheme of schools of philosophy, belief in God and not believing in God, believing or not believing in God, is not why a school is astika or nastika. Because Sankhya is an astika darshanam. Sankhya is astika darshanam. Is there God? In fact, they are calling God as redundant, irrelevant. The whole discussion on God is irrelevant. And yet it is what? Astika system. So for us, believing in God, not believing in God, is not what categorizes the system of philosophy as astika and nastika. So we don't say that this is hearsay, blasphemy, sacrilegious, or anything. No, iconoclastic, no, nothing. We simply say that it is still relevant. The only reason why it is called as astika is because there is acceptance of Veda as pramana. Wherever Veda is accepted as, appreciated as pramana, that makes the darshanam as astika darshanam. Darshana means school of philosophy. Okay. When is it called as astika? When there is Veda pramanya. When the Veda pramanyam is accepted, it is called as astika darshanam. Not believing and not believing in God. This is too childish. Gone, not required. But this is Sankhya. Then Sankhya Pravachana, which means the yoga school. Sage Patanjali brings in Ishvara back. He says Ishvara is required. Why is Ishvara required? So that you can have Ishvara Pranidhana, devotion to God. But why? What will it do? He says, Ishvara Pranidhanena, what happens is the obstacles are removed. samadhi is attained Ishvara Pradhanatva. Antaraya means obstacles are removed. That's why he brings in Ishvara. Now, what is your problem presently over here for us? That we have the obstacles in form of papa karmas, which will come in our way, preventing you from even doing Shravana. Then with Shravana, the result of Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam, which is knowledge, all this, it will be blocked at various places. By what? By the karma, obstacles. That's why we require Daiva Balam. How that Daiva Balam will be there? Bhagavato Bhaktir Dridha Dhiyatam. Dhiyatam means learning, Kriyatam. Kriyatam. Over here, that Dhiyatam, understand Dhiyatam. Yeah. Now you see, where is it gone? What is the meaning of word Bhagavan? Because we have specifically used word Bhagavan for Ishvara. Okay. Now over here, this aspect of Ishvara as Bhagavan comes. Okay. Till now Ishvara was, what was he called? Teneshasya. Ishvara word was used. Now he is using the word Bhagavan. So there is another aspect of this Ishvara which will play an important part. What is that with Bhagavan? Bhaga means a collection of these 6 qualities. What is Bhaga? These 6 qualities are called as Bhaga. And the one who has these is one. Like you say, Sabzi wala, where wala, various walas are there, like that one, Vatu Matu, these are the things. Shaktiman, but then you don't say Dhanaman, you say Dhanavan. You don't say Shaktivan, it will be Shaktiman. Both of them will mean Bala, the one who has. Like in Indian language, we say vegetable vendor as Sabzi wala, a fruit vendor as Phal wala. And Wala, like that, the one who has Bhaga is Bhagawala, is Bhagavan. What are these Bhagas? Listen, anybody wants to write down, can write down this. Aishwaryasya samagrasya Viryasya yashasashriyah Jnana vairagyayoshchaiva Shannam bhagaitirana. What are called as Bhaga? Aishwarya. The first is Aishwarya, which means opulence. Just not opulence. Aishwaryam is the quality to control. To control. Ishana Shakti. Aishwarya. Like, you have got a mosquito in your fist. Now you have the Aishwarya that you can, crush it, or you can just allow it to fly. So at that moment, that is the Aishwarya. You feel success. Aishwarya. So Aishwarya. But in how? In full measure. All these qualities are in full measure. Then they are called as bhaga. So two things are required. All the six should be there, and they should be there in full measure. Because, just because you now have got this, control over that mosquito in your fist, don't think that this is Aishwarya. The mosquito has more control than you. If the mosquito does not want you to sleep, it will do, and you do like that. Before that fellow knows it runs away. And it does not go very far, just 2 inches above, and your hand has still missed him. And then again, he can spoil your whole night. So who has more control? He can make you angry, or he can allow you to go to sleep. So that Aishwaryam is there even in that mosquito. Even if it is the President of America with one mosquito in the room, he can control him. So then what happened? Aishwaryasya samagrasya virya. Virya means what do they call? Indomitable spirit. Viryam. Sahaviryam karava. Indomitable. Viryam. Then. Yasha. Yasha means fame. Fame. Even if you don't believe in God, the Yasha is there. The rising sun, the flowing wind, the cool water, all this is the Yasha of Ishvara. All right. So, Viryasya Yashasa Shriyaha. Shriya over here is this opulence. Opulence. Jnana Vairagya Yushchaiva. Then Jnanam and also Vairagyam. Okay. So 6 qualities in total. Aishwarya, then Virya, Yasha, Shriya, Jnana, Vairagya. Where these 6 qualities are present together in full measure, it is called as Bhaga. And the one who has is called as Bhagavan. Okay. The one who has is called as Bhagavan. Where? Only in Ishvara you find. So now over here, we are not bringing Ishvara only as Jagat Karana. He is being brought out as this Bhagavan. This aspect you will have to invoke of Ishvara. How will that be invoked? Through your devotion. And when this is invoked, what happens is the obstacles will melt away. Whatever is the path preventing you from walking this path, now those obstacles will be removed. Okay. Iti shlokokta vairagyadi shadrupa iti uchyate. That is called as Bhaga. So asya asti iti Bhagavan shadgunaishcha sampannaha paripurna parameshwaraha. Anena bhagavad-padena ishvarasya sakalantaraya nivartana samarthyam jyotitam bhavati. Now by this, what has Bhagavan Bhashyakar, Bhagavan Shankaracharya done over here is that he has highlighted jyotitam. He has highlighted what? That samarthyam, that shakti, that power of Ishvara to remove all obstacles. Because he has Yasha, he has Virya, Bala, strength, indomitable. jnanam, and also not because you are offering him something in return, he wants to do it, because he has vairagyam. Just because you are going to break a coconut does not mean that God is going to give. He gives you a new job because you break coconuts on Saturdays in Maruti temple. You understand? Therefore, सकलान्तराय निवर्तन सामर्थ्यं द्योतितं भवति तस्य परमेश्वरस्य भक्तिः. Now bhakti of this Ishvara is there. In which form, whether you have you are devoted to God as Krishna, Shiva, Durga, that is not relevant. Do you see that this is Ishvara, and so whomsoever it is Bhagavan, in whichever form is Bhagavan, it is Ishvara. To have devotion, to have love, love means that all your energy will be gathered in one place. Okay? Tasya Parameshwarasya Bhakti means Tadeka Chittata. Thus, the mind will converge in one place. That is the power of love. It will collect the mind and bring it, that which is scattered all over. Because you love several things, and that's why the mind is scattered everywhere. I want that also, I like this also. So thus, and therefore in your life there is total dissipation of energy, as Puja Gurudev used to say, in various directions. And therefore, not even a single thing can really be accomplished. But when your energy is converged in one place, like what? Sunlight is there everywhere, but just leave a sack of cotton in the sunlight, it does not burn it down. But when you keep a lens, and when that sunlight, which is all over now, is just gathered in one point, it will generate fire. Like that, when the mind is converged in one place, now it will generate great energy. And thus, accomplishments of big things are possible. So, Ishvara Bhakti is there, Tadeka Chittata. And then Bhagavad Pada Bhagavan Shankaracharya gives one more adjective to this Bhakti, and that is Dridha Bhakti. Dridha means strong, stable, well-rooted, well-established, well-rooted, like a tree. How the tree has got its roots strongly held deep down into the earth. Like that, strongly rooted bhakti. Okay. Nishchala. What does that dridha mean? Nishchala. Unflickering. Nishchala. Immovable. Bhakti. Because our bhakti is like that, sometimes when things don't go your way, immediately all your bhakti just simply vanishes, evaporates. No, not like that. Dridha, Nishchala. Adhiyata, adhiyata. What is that word? Bhagavato bhaktir dridhadhiyatam. Dridha adhiyatam. Adhiyatam means what? Kriyatam iti yavat. Tataha nishchalena bhagavadhyanena suryodayena tamorashehe अंतराय राशे निवृत्ति संभवात् आत्मनि पुरुषार्थत्व निश्चयवतः तत्साधनम साधनात्मज्ञानार्थं तद्विचारे प्रवृत्ति संभवात् उपासनया प्रसन्नदेव प्रसाद बलात् सफलत्व संभवात् च न त्वदुक्त दोषावकाशः इति भावः. Now it means that just as because of this bhakti, what has happened? Like the darkness is removed by the sunrise. By the sunrise, the darkness will go away. Like that, no matter how dense and how big the papa karmas of your earlier lives are, which are now preventing you even coming into this path, or having come also, it is not able to give the necessary result. This will all, this antaraya rashi, rashi means the heap of it, will also be removed through Ishvara Bhakti. Okay? It is possible. And therefore, the dosha, the defect which you had brought, which you have spelled out, what was the defect? That because of the lack of Daiva Balam, everything will become fruitless. This doubt does not have any space. Nasti avakasha. It doesn't. This doubt is therefore is not applicable. Why? Because the solution is bhakti dridhadhiyata. Whose bhakti? Otherwise somebody will say, nay, nay, you're not devoted to my wife. Whatever. But we are saying devoted to Paramatma, Bhagavan is important. Okay. All right. So we will meet next to see what Bhagavan Shankaracharya has to say furthermore when we meet tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakrito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Mukti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavadyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha.